Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
Nice shirt, bro.
You like that?
Yeah, looks good.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ageless right now.
Classic.
Ageless.
Ageless. Vintage.
Ageless. That's right. That's the way I roll. Vintage.
Did you see that video? It's been circulating a little bit of Nicole Carroll doing a seminar.
Yeah.
I was like, man, those are the days.
Those are the days. Dude, I got on a kick one time. You know how like you kind of go down the wormhole of like, you know, videos or YouTube or TikTok or whatever. And I got caught.
Those wormholes, by the way, dude. I need
Really?
to, I get sucked into those things so
No, I do too. 100%.
Like, what have I done with my life for the last hour? And what could I have done to accomplish something great over the hours I've wasted in this?
I know. But this was actually a good wormhole. So there was something that the CrossFit book had on Instagram or whatever. One of the videos, they always show those videos of Greg talking like old school stuff. And it made me go back and look at some of the old YouTube videos, and dang, dude, I mean, even the stuff that's 20 years old, it just stokes me out. There is some good stuff out there.
It's just, like you said, timeless.
It is. And I like, it's if you look at it the right way, even though like our current society is in the way that it is, which is loony, but the way that it is, like you can take any of those things and you put it, you slide it right in. And it's what I immediately liked about CrossFit in the beginning was it boiled everything down to the simplest deal. It's like, you know what, this isn't like, it's not designed to make someone feel good or not feel good. It was like, here is your simple path to get from A to B. Yeah. And then you just go. And it's just matter of fact. I mean, even like that one commercial that's been coming around, it's been kind of filtering around with like the lady that gets out of her car and she falls down and the
one that Hiller made.
Unbelievable. I mean, that right there is why. And the message behind it was like, yeah, that we just want to be awesome. We want to be able to do the things we need to do. Oh, and cool, we have this competition too. You can do if you really want to get crazy at it. But it's about being a badass forever. I love it.
Hopefully Andrew Hiller won't give us a strike for playing this, but
you better not, bro.
I mean, it was so good.
So good.
Oh, it's a damn commercial here. I'll see if I pull this up. But yeah, he was we were a little bit privy to this thing coming out, but yeah, let me pull this up here. You got it?
Yeah.
Got it. This is great. This is what it's all about.
This is exactly what CrossFit is. To the bare bones.
It's all about.
Right? Like to the bare bones.
Right? Show of hands. Something's wrong?
She fell.
Yeah, she fell. I think it's wrong enough that someone should be pissed. Who? Everyone that knows. I think you should be pissed. So we can save anyone that, come here, give me your hand, I got you. See, the problem's simple. I believe that CrossFit has an elegant solution to the world's most vexing problem. It's not going to be a pharma solution. It won't be a surgical intervention. It's not going to be some new crazy form of radiation treatment, because the problem is rooted fundamentally in excess carbohydrate and not enough quality movement in your life. Sitting on the couch and refusing to get up is a willful behavior and deadly. Right here, and that's what's happening in your boxes. You thought it was about the fitness. It's really not. Each box, each gym is a lifeboat.
I mean, I got goosebumps. Oh, I just turned Bill off. Hey, buddy.
I'm back. Hi. I'm on the good one. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Yes, Sarah Cooper, that video should be shared everywhere. What's up, Cody?
100%. 100%. Man,
Judy Reed, what is this? People shocked. I'm shocked that people were upset about this video justifying her inability to get up. Of course, what are you shocked about? Bill just said this whole world's loony.
Yeah, I mean, like this isn't a look at that person. It's like you feel bad for him because you can fix that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's fixable. It's not. Don't. It's not. This is not. Then that's what I loved about CrossFit in the beginning. It was non-victim mentality.
What's up, wife?
What's up, wife?
There's a bat in your office, like a real bat,
Rad.
a
It's
legitimate
Hiller.
bat.
It's Hiller. He's pissed because we showed the video. Damn it.
Ashley, I am on YouTube live.
Put her on. Hey, Ashley. Put her on right now. Hey, Ashley.
If you, I'll tell you what, if you come on this show right now in front of everybody, I will go see the bat.
Hey, Ashley.
All right, see, I knew I could get her out of here real quick. I actually want to go see the bat, though. Trish, I have no problem with the bat. You shut your
mouth.
perm-headed mouth.
You shut your mouth right now.
If there's a spider, I'm going to burn the fucking house down. That, no problem. I'm actually really excited that we have a bat in the house. Look at that. We play a Hiller video. A bat shows up in my house.
I'm telling you, man, there's no such thing as like, it's all done for a reason.
Yeah. Hey, Ashley. That would have been the ultimate. Hey, Ashley.
That would have been ultimate.
Ultimate. Hey, Ashley. I got to bring that back. Maybe I'll bring it back on Mother's Day. Just to,
dude.
just to really ruin things.
You're going to piss her off on Mother's Day. It's great.
I know. I usually do, though. But yeah, that video is it. That video is it. It's Will. Mine, Wuhan. Right? We all experienced enough of that place over the last 3 years.
Yep.
Enough. Everybody got their own taste of Wuhan. We're good. We're good forever. But yeah, that video is great. And that it really is. That's the simplest thing. Oh shit. My wife just sent me a photo. Is it dead?
What's she doing this? She was sending you a picture of this.
No, she sent me a picture of the bat.
Oh.
We have a bat in our house.
You have a dead bat? You guys are Wuhan.
I'm going to ask her. Is it dead?
Is it dead? No, it has a virus.
Or is that the ceiling? Find out. Let's see this thing. Oh, it is real. All right.
Is it alive?
Yeah, I think so for now. Nobody read my text messages. All right, is this one of those you get hold down? It's live?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. A baby bat? What did she say?
You bite the head off the bat?
Bats have rabies. Oh, I know how to do this. Here, let me.
Yeah, take the picture.
I'll show you exactly how we get rid of this. Hold on. Oh, I feel like we're doing a Savant show where it's just like squirrel.
Just kind of rambling all over the place.
Squirrel.
Trying to talk about semifinals for the team. They're like, fuck that, dude. Bat.
Yeah, we got a serious problem.
Emergency.
I'm going to send it in.
What is that? It's Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, wait. If I play this too long, we get in trouble, right?
Right. That's right.
7 seconds. Oh, 7 seconds.
Boom.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send her this video. Here is how you get rid of a bat. All right. Who knows? I may get kicked off of this thing live because I won't handle the bat. All right. Before we get to the programming, we're going to go through the team events today. We're going to really walk through what was posted by the games team. There's, I think there's a lot of things on paper that may read more difficult than I think could happen on the competition floor, but a lot of that has to do with just little details that aren't yet released for these tests themselves. But we'll go through it. We'll go through what we think. We'll go through what we some strategies that some teams can look at, and what we think some of the nuances and crux of the tests will be. Can we add a host? Yeah, I'm surprised no one got clever and send the bat a link. Usually that tends to happen. Yes, congratulations, Caden Mavity. qualifying for semifinals. Little
Yeah.
youngster out there, so it looks like we everything should be final. It's supposed to be final yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Said he's
it
in.
looks like yeah. All right, congratulations, Caden. Hopefully we see you at the games, and not that you won't be there. It's that we don't know if we'll be there.
I know, huh?
We never do.
Never do to the end.
It's the last minute. So okay, let's start here. And we'll go event by event. There are no detailed descriptions yet. They're mostly just a list of the events themselves. We'll start with test number 1. I know I just said event a lot, but these things are officially meant to be called tests going forward for the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Some consistency, I guess, from open all the way to CrossFit Games. 4 rounds for time. Each member of the team is starting on a different piece of equipment. We have the Echo Bike for 2.5K or 2K between the men and the women, a 800-meter run, a bear hug sandbag hold at 150 for the women and 200 for the men. Much better.
It's very
Heavy. And 150 double unders after each round. So when all teammates are done with their distance or reps, except for the sandbag hold, the team will move to 10 worm clean and jerks and then go back to the stations where everybody will, I would assume, just like rotate up one, where everyone will get a taste of each implement. Now, with this is we have the Echo Bike, we have the run, and then we have the double unders, which is just a certain number of reps or distance to complete, and then you have a sandbag hold. It doesn't say what the sandbag hold really does as far as regulation. My assumption, and anyone else can look a bit, Bill, if you saw, okay, we have a sandbag hold and 3 distance or reps, what would you assume that sandbag hold is going to do?
I think that they're going to tag it to one of the pieces of one of the other events. So like you have to hold it while someone is running. And so you're tagged to that person.
Now, tag to it, do you just mean like they're working together, or
meaning that like, okay, while that person is running, I'm holding the bag. The hard part is like usually when there's a hold like that, the other reps have to stop while that bag comes down. And that's the hard part. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's tied to the double unders.
Mm-hmm.
So while they're holding on to the double unders, so like if I have to drop the bag, it's easy to stop the double unders. It's a little weirder on the bike because it'll still kind of keep spinning. The run, depending where they are on the runner, if it's the air runner, okay, cool. But like you can be, if you're tied to one of them,
right,
then that's what you're looking at. Which one, I don't really know. I think the double unders would be easy.
Bailey said tied to everybody. Everybody's incumbent on that bag being held.
I mean, like I get it. I think that I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the logistics of that could be kind of a pain in the ass.
Okay, so let's think about this hold too. If you're tying it to something, as you're predicting, you got a 2.5 to 2K Echo Bike. Echo Bike, I'm not as familiar with distances and times.
Right.
But I am with that 800-meter run. And seeing it as a station, I'm assuming like these are on runners.
Yeah.
An 800-meter run at a decent clip, if you're fit and you're fast, we're looking at 3.5 minutes within the test, right? Not a one-off.
Right. You
going out there and running a 3-minute 800 probably will not be advantageous to the next 3 rounds of things that you have to do.
Right.
So even, let's just say, shoot, Bill, let's just say someone runs a 3-minute 800. You're going to have to hold that bag.
Yeah, for fucking 3 minutes?
3 minutes? Or the Echo Bike, probably it is similar time frame. Hey,
I would see that, and that's why I figured the double unders would be faster. Oh, what up, dude?
What's up, bro?
Man.
Yeah.
From the other side of the world over there. That's why I think the double unders would be the easiest one to do it to.
Because that's about what? A minute and a half?
Yeah, a minute and a half. Which I'm telling you right now, dude, if you are not moving anywhere and you're just holding on to something, everyone's cool for 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
But this is going to get really bad really fast.
Yeah.
And especially when that element is going to be switched as well. So now you're going to come in tired. You're breathing hard. You got that bag on your diaphragm, and you have to stand there for a minute and a half.
That's a great point because we're not talking one round. We're talking 4 rounds.
Right.
And that just means you coming off something.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's where the strategy comes into play. It's like, okay, who is a trash runner? Maybe you should go first, or a bike, or double unders, or a weak bag holder.
Oh, dude, here's the strategy right here. I got it. You have to go from the double unders to the hold the bag. That would be the order, because then you're rested compared to all the other movements. You're going to be most rested going into holding the bag. So you're not breathing as hard.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
So you don't, well, the things that we don't know, what the bag is tied to, that's going to make a huge difference. Is the bag tied to anything at all? How is it tied to? What implement is it tied to? What order are these things in? Do you have to go bike, run, bag, double under, or how is it set up on the floor? Do you have to go in the same order, or do you just cannot come back to the same thing you came back to?
Okay. We've seen some of the choose your own adventures. Do you think this would be kind of all right, team, you set it up the way you want, but all 4 people have to go through? Like you guys, everyone has to hit everyone. I don't care what order you go. Do you think they would do that? I think to cover it would be weird, but I could see them doing that.
I could see them doing that, and I'm not opposed to that when I think about, hey, this is just a team workout in the gym. But when we look at a test in live competition with fans watching and broadcast covering, it would make a lot more sense for everybody playing the game and involved that it's like station 1, 2, 3, 4, you advance after each round, not a choose your own implement thing. You have to have your order set and it stays in that order for all 4 rounds.
Ooh, you move the bag down every round. Once your round is completed, you move the bag down. So that's how you can tell what round people are on.
Oh, that's cool. Or you're moving the worm up.
Oh, the worm. I keep forgetting about the worm. Yeah, you can do the worm. That would be it.
We've been talking about the bag this whole time, but there's still
that's the weirdest
worm clean and jerks in here.
Right.
And some poor soul is going to be anchor leg on the bag hold and then has to go over there to the worm.
Yeah.
Like, and this is, again, it's one of those things like written on paper. It's like, oh, all this stuff is going on. It might be a little confusing. It's like, honestly, it's not. People are going to be doing their thing. Once everybody's done, I'm assuming they're going to move to the worm, do their 10 worm and clean and jerks, maybe advance it to the round 2 section so we at least know where they're going, and then they go back to the stuff. The object of the game is, depending on how they force you to shift, what is the bag held to or tied to, and how that implement is being used to maybe dictate pace or when someone can start and stop. This is a massive team strategy test.
Huge, which it's kind of fun. I like that. And I was just thinking, I mean, you could make
about the bat. Sorry.
There's one other way you could do the sandbag hold, which is an accumulated amount of time. So let's say you have to get 2 minutes of accumulated time with the bear hug. So everyone is still doing all their pieces. You're doing it all by yourself, but your judge.
Oh, that it's not tied to a
like it's not tied. It's just they got a clock and they go. So you're up there for 45 seconds. You drop the bag, boom, your time stops. Yeah. And you keep going till you get to the 2-minute mark. Once you're done, so everyone has their individual thing. I could see it that way. Mm-hmm. It would have to be some. I mean, I like it that it's tied to something so that it forces people to stop whatever it is that they're doing. Yeah, but they can do it that way too.
I did this the other day, and I did it a little bit easier format, but I can't remember when I had this conversation. But have you ever done the workout Tailpipe? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know the name. What is it?
So Tailpipe, it's you and a partner. It's 3 rounds, 250-meter row, while your partner holds a front rack collapsed.
That's right.
Kettlebell rack position with 253s or 255s.
Yeah. We talked about that one on the air last time.
I think we talked about that. So I obviously I was like, hey, let's do it. I did it with a group of 3 because I didn't want to go that hard.
It fucking sucks.
It's awful because it's only a 250. you have to send it. So does your partner. And then when you come back to those kettlebells, I haven't done it in a long time. And once I put those kettlebells on my chest, I panicked.
Yeah,
I
dude, you
almost
feel
got
like you're choking
claustrophobic.
yourself out. You're giving yourself your own sleeper hold.
Rich, I hope you didn't tell Ron about this. Rich. Oh yeah, 3 people. All right, you're right. Yeah, Ron was there, but I panicked. I got it on my chest. I couldn't breathe, and I was like, and I didn't want to. I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't put them down. I didn't raise my there are strict rules to this because you can hold them here and lift your elbows up and breathe better, or you can put the kettlebells up behind your shoulders. But it is like the rule is knuckles together or handles together, and then forearms collapsed on the torso. That's the point. And it is a panic fest for what, 6 minutes? If that.
Yeah, so you want the other person to hurry up and row.
Yeah. So
Which
you like
means they need you to hurry up and row.
Yeah. And
So it's this
look at
weird
him and like,
cycle going up where it just jacks everybody. Everyone's like, I can't breathe.
the best part is like if you do it where you can't see their screen and it just turns partners against each other because you're like, are you even trying?
Right.
I've been there before. I was like, bro, you've been there for 13 seconds. 47 meters into this thing. But I could see that with a 200-pound sandbag in the bear hug carry.
It's gonna be it's gonna be the same thing.
I hope we just got a bunch of. There's an ISO camera on the bag holder.
Man, I tell you what, in the 200-pound bag, like that's not a skinny bag. It's
No.
a fat bag for the same thing for the 150 for the women. Like if you have any of the shorter and powerful, that's great. But if they can't get their hands locked, oh, dude, that bag's coming down.
How about this one? What if everybody has to switch stations when you drop?
Dude, the logistics of that would be impossible.
That would
I
be
like it.
Yeah.
I like it. But trying to figure out who has what on what things.
Well, you just like you pick up where you left off, where the other partner left off. I mean, it's not doable.
Well, okay, but if you do that, you don't get through 800 for each person.
Yeah.
You have to change your numbers towards bulk work. So like, okay, so 10,000 meters on the echo bike. 2 miles on the run.
That's gonna get clipped. God dang it!
What?
I just said, "Oh, Bill" again.
Oh,
Speaking of, switch subjects really quick. Congratulations to your brother.
Yeah, dude.
Got married.
He got married. Oh, and check this out. So their hashtag is always been, because they had Luke ahead of time. So it's always been, Grundler Party of 3. That's always been their hashtag. So they get up there. My brother's, welcoming everyone when we get there for the. Look at those guys. Look at Luke. Look at that little dude.
That hair.
Dude, he's like a little rock star. It's so funny. So he's up there welcoming everyone. He's like, yeah, but I realized that I was told that there was a. Look at that guy.
Awesome. How old is he?
He's gonna be 2 in June.
Even 2. He has more hair than my daughter.
Dude, he's got flowing locks in the
For
back.
her hair to come in. I mean, it's in, but it's thin and wispy.
Yeah. Anyway, so come to realize they're actually a Grundler Party of 4.
No.
Yeah, so that was their announcement at the wedding that they got another one on the way.
Awesome.
So.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, so that's super cool. Super cool.
It looked awesome. How was it?
Dude.
It was in Georgia, right?
Yeah, Savannah, Georgia. It was a really, I've never been there. Super cool.
Yeah.
Really pretty place. Supposed to be one of the most haunted cities in America. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
What do they attribute that to? Superstition?
No, there were just a lot of people died during like yellow fever time, and it's set up in these grids, these squares, and everyone kind of had their own little cemetery. So like the whole town is like cemeteries.
Oh.
Not set up as cemeteries, they just put cities over it, but it's like,
yeah.
I mean, it's an old city. Like we ate at this one place that was made in like 1771. Crazy.
He needs to meet your daughter. I'll introduce him to my daughter. I've got to warn him beforehand.
Right.
No, Blake, she marches to the beat of her own drum. You know, one thing about Georgia, and I may be saying this incorrectly, so I'm going to sound stupid, but I'm pretty sure, is that I always forget that's one of the first 13 colonies.
I know, dude. Like I don't realize. Well, there's a couple things. I don't really realize how old it is.
Right.
I don't really realize that it's
Like
has
everybody
happened-
thinks like New York, Boston, Massachusetts, Rhode
Yeah.
Island. Like, everyone thinks it's like
Massachusetts,
the
of course,
Northeast
Massachusetts.
only. Right.
right.
Or New York, right? Where do you think they got that name from?
right.
York.
Right. This
That's
is the
just
new
for New
one.
York. New England. Like how unoriginal did we get? We took the theme of your anthem and just like put our words to it.
Totally. I know. Yeah, and I didn't even realize that. I just don't think about it enough that like Georgia's on the
It
coast.
always skips my mind. Like the
Like-
Carolinas, yes, okay, but like Georgia, I'm like, oh shit, I keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
I know. Every time, it's really weird.
History lesson brought to you by Get With The Programming. Yes. Yes. All right. Anything else on test 1 you want to touch on? I mean, obviously there's a lot of, I don't know a lot, but like there's little details in here that I think could have massive impacts. One, what order do they have to stay in? Is it linear?
Right.
What is the bag tied to, or even used for, and how things are going to advance back and forth between those things?
Yeah, I think that like that one aspect, like knowing what the bag is attached to, is going to have huge ramifications. So it's like you can kind of get an idea, but it could be literally 4 different plans, all based on how the bag is going to be used,
Mhm.
or if it's used. Or maybe it's just a time thing. But even that, like that's whole nother variable. So we don't know until we get there,
Yeah,
which is going to change things up.
but
Well,
that,
okay, I got a question for you.
go for it.
So here they announce the events early, quote unquote early, for all the teams to let everyone know that they get the information a week ahead of time so everyone can get ready. However, if they don't tell everybody, like in the description, it just says at the briefing. So all of the other teams that get to do this now have the advantage, even though they all knew kind of what it was, but not know exactly how it is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, why not just kick it all out?
That's a good question.
Like, if you're giving them out early, give them out early.
Hopefully, they said all events, and I guess it does say somewhere is like details will be announced at like athlete briefings.
Yeah, the athlete briefing.
Which I don't remember them ever doing that. I know we have the athlete briefings, but I felt like every detail was written down for the events.
If it was
Back
given
in the
out,
old
it was
school.
given out.
Yeah, it was all given out. And
Yeah.
for the reason, you're like, there's no reason to not release all the details about this, because one thing, you want the teams to be able to practice this. If just like you said,
Yeah.
if the next 2 weeks of teams get to watch and use exactly what happened in their training, why are we keeping it from the week 1 teams?
Exactly.
What are we
Exactly.
trying? Not saying what are we trying to hide, like they're deliberately hiding something. I don't
Yeah.
believe that's the case. But it's like, here's the thing: would you want everyone coming to take your test to know exactly what's on the test so that they can perform better? And if they perform better, it also helps everyone else perform better. The judges, the staff, everyone else in control. Your judges, I don't know who they're communicating to and what, and maybe they have all the details as far as this on the judging standpoint, but the more information, the better, so that everyone can perform at their best. And if everybody's performing at their best, then we have less gray and confusion on the competition floor.
Totally. And to Will's point here, usually when they give those briefings, those are not the way they do them now. They have the whoever the head judge is has an iPad and they read what they're supposed to say. They're not allowed to kind of go and explain it in their own way.
Freeform.
Right. They're not allowed to freestyle. No freestyling on that, so that everyone gets the same standard. But this is the problem. It's like, but I don't understand why wait. I mean, because if that was the case, then all they should have said is, hey, for event 1, you're going to have an echo bike, a sandbag, a jump rope, and what's the other? Oh, and an air runner. Don't even say, and a worm. Like, just say that, because then you have the same amount of information where you're going to be speculating. And I think that's I don't agree with that.
Yeah. I'm curious because those little details have massive impact on
Huge.
strategy and team play and execution, which is
huge.
just for me selfishly is more things I love to talk about and geek out on.
Yeah.
But that's kicking off the weekend. A long, grueling, monostructural test for 3 different components in that weight bag hold. And then obviously the worm coming into play, which is a staple of team competition and cohesiveness to begin with. So that's test number 1. Test number 2, we have male, female pairs. They'll be working in synchro. The first round is three synchro muscle ups. One partner is on the rings, one partner is on the pull-up bar. So one will be doing ring muscle ups, one will be doing bar muscle ups. And then 5 synchro thrusters at 95 and 65. Pair one works while the other rests, then they switch. Add 2 muscle ups and 5 thrusters after both pairs complete the round. So both pairs will go 3 and 5, and then 5 and 10, and then 7 and 15, so on and so forth. Everything has to be synchronized. The thing I'm curious to see is that this being a mixed paired test. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's common knowledge now that, let's look at the barbell first. At these lighter loads, women typically cycle and use a bar better than men. They have the modern era of games level athletes. These weights or old school weights, which are just standard weights, right? This is Fran weight.
Right.
They cycle a bar much better. They're strong. They've gotten so much stronger, efficient. The range of motion is traditionally maybe a little bit less than the men, not always the case, but predominantly there. And then you look at the difference between ring muscle up ability. Traditionally, when you think about just the press out and fatigue, the men typically perform better there. Not always, right? There's exceptions to everything, but we're talking about generalities and majorities here. The men will fare better on the rings than the women will. And then, so I look at this and I'm like, I see this like
the guy gets screwed.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's completely legit. Like, this is, you're now, which is maybe that's a good thing for this particular event, because most of the time you find your weak link, and that's where you kind of have to, you have to lean into your weak link a little bit. You can only go as fast or as far as your weak link.
Yeah, I never said women weren't shorter. I just said you had to throw it to 10 feet.
There you go. Totally. Yeah, man. But a lot of these guys, we know that these men are just, they're beastly strong. So it's nice to put them, I think, in the heat locker a little bit, where it's like, okay, you're now the better athlete, stronger. You're going to have to do, you're going to be doing more of the muscle ups. I don't see many times where the women will be on the rings versus the men. I think that'll be, I see the men will be on the muscle ups.
Especially with bigger sets, it'll happen.
But I see, generally speaking, men will be on the muscle ups on the rings. The women will be on the bar. And it's going to be like, okay, you're the bigger, stronger. Now you're the one that's under pressure, because you're right. They are going to have that. But I tell you what, I was so excited when I saw the setup. I'm like, why the hell didn't they do this for the age group?
Yeah.
It's like not choose your own adventure, and you can do as many of this, but there's a limit, and you can do as many you can on this one. Like, I love this setup. I think it's awesome.
I do too.
I think it's super cool.
I do too. I like how it's increasing in weights and increasing reps. In reps each set. There's an interval component based off this. There's a strategy component of who goes the rings, who goes on the bar, how many sets are we going to do. I mean, when you think about getting a break after this, at these weights, the teams that are going to qualify for the CrossFit Games, this is unbroken.
Yeah.
You just have to. And then how do you navigate the rings and the bar muscle ups once they get to, I would say they start to get real in about, what is that?
7 minutes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Dude, that's what I was saying. Like, okay, this is 15 minutes long.
Okay. So
you know where everyone's going to be at like 11 minutes?
Yeah. 3 synchro right off the bat. Okay. 3 and 5. Let's just say 3 to 15, 5, 15. So 30 to 45 seconds per. So a minute and a half in, you're already going to 5 and 10.
Yep.
And even if you double that, you're a minute and a half now, you're 3. So you're 4.5 to 5 minutes in. And I think that's being overly generous. Right. Let's just say 4 minutes in. Now you're going to 7 and 15. You're not even a third of the way through, and you're already to 7 muscle ups and 15. And you've already done, after the 7, 15 muscle ups and 30 thrusters.
Right. That's what I mean. Like the exponential kick in the ass on this.
Yeah, this gets tough quick, which I like. I like the combo. We saw this, like you said, we saw this combination during the age group semifinals of a Choose Your Own Adventure. Lighter weights.
Yeah.
Age groupers had to do, the main would stay, middle ones were 135 and 95. But I'm curious to see how this plays out and if the male-female pairing was the better choice than, say, same-sex pairing. So male-male, female-female, because I feel like it almost limits both pairs, whether it's the barbell or the, like, well, to be fair, it may limit both in two different movements.
Well, I just don't think, I think this comes down to your ring muscle up person. I think the whole thing does. I mean, even with the thrusters, like, yeah, they're shitty. The women may have the advantage on this, but I don't think that that's what's really going to be holding people up, because on a thruster, you can still drop it, take a second and go right back to it. Where the rings, you can't do that.
Right.
Even the bar for the bar muscle ups, you can get a swing into that. It's not a full blown glide kit, but you can use the momentum of your swing to get up over the bar.
Mm-hmm.
The ring muscle up, you have to make that happen. And once you get to the point where you are approaching fail, even though you have this break, the number of reps that you have in the tank is a lot less. So it all ends up hinging on that one athlete. I think that the men, generally speaking, especially nowadays with athletes that we have out there, they can all do ring muscle ups. It's not like you have this big weightlifting juggernaut that can only do a couple ring muscle ups. I think generally they're going to be able to do.
Oh, I think everybody
big numbers
that is in a games or should be qualifying or vying for one. No one is going to be hindered physically.
So what makes this so great is not the weight, not the skill, but the volume that's going to go down with these athletes that I'm excited to see, because of, like, if they would have made this shit, what if they made it 9 minutes? Now it's about speed and everyone's going unbroken. Now it's just who doesn't get a no rep. But because it goes to 15, the amount of reps that these athletes are going to be doing, now you have to plan, like, okay, well, how do I break this? There's going to come a point where I have to break these. How long do I break these?
Mm-hmm.
Do I try to just empty the tank and go as far as I can, then take my break and then finish the last 2 or 3? Or is it better for me to do, like, when you get to like 15 or something like that, do 5, come down, count your rest, hop back up, do 5, come down, to where now everything is real regimented. I think that's going to be fun to watch, like the good athletes, the good teams get after it.
I hope there's a way to follow where teams are at.
Right. Maybe the bar. They can move the bar down.
You can be like, hey, this is maybe the rep count that they're on. You're in the 5 section, 10 section, 15, 20, moving down the competition floor, knowing that no one's going to get through the round of 30. And
right.
Somebody cool. You're good. But I'm curious to see how this plays out. And that's the thing. A lot of the time that I actually heard Brian Friend talking about this on a Talking Like Fitness podcast, where they were talking about the events, is that how things look on paper and play on the competition floor are two completely separate things. And making sure that you don't take your preconceived notions of what's going to happen into the viewing of this test. So it's like, have your ideas of what you think is going to happen, but I would say opinions on the test itself. Like, it's like someone always looking for the negative in anything, and that's all they watch. That's how they perceive the world, and they're just looking for bad. Like, there's bad. I've been waiting for that. Instead of just like, hey, clean slate, neutral eye view, enjoy the test. Let's see what unfolds, and then afterwards, which we'll do, we'll analyze the programming after the fact that everybody's taken these tests.
Right.
And I think this is one of them. Things that I'm curious about is the mixed sexed pair the good way to execute this test versus the same sex pair? My initial thought is, I think there's a lot of limiters when you mix these two up with muscle ups and barbell exclusively. And so I was like, instead of having 2 men work together and 2 women work together in different movements and see how they strategize together, I'm curious to see how this plays out. Because I have a thought, but I don't want to analyze what's happening with that as like, what is that? The rose-colored glasses.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of
Well,
a thing.
okay. Well, let me ask you this. What if they would have just said it's ring muscle ups and thrusters? Then generally speaking, the limiting factor is going to be your women on the rings.
Right, and that's why I'm a little.
So I kind of like that they put a bar in there, because now what that did is that brought that up
Yes.
to where that's not going to be the limiting factor now.
Yes, and that's why I'm backpedaling a little bit on my. Well, I didn't tell anybody my initial view of this, but I'm like, okay, so maybe you have offsetting skill sets on the gymnastics. Logan Mars, Bill and Chase and Billy are one of my favorite same-sex pairs. Thank you. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so you have the ring and bar work, the gymnastics work. Two skill sets are working there, usually between men and women's capacities, typically. Barbell, we just said, it is different at these loadings, at these movements between men and women. So maybe that is the balance between the two.
Right.
That's why I'm curious to see this unfold and how other teams utilize and strategize who goes where on the rings and the bar, and then how that works out on the.
Yeah. I was actually really excited when I saw this one. Actually, the first thing I thought was, how come they didn't do this for the age group like I was talking about? Because it's like, just tell us what you want us to do. There's the race right there.
Mm-hmm.
Add the reps on top of that. I mean, I like, that's kind of that's an old school classic feel of you increase reps as you get into it every time. So it's like, great job. You get paid for winning, and now you get to do more reps because you did it. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a fun event to watch.
Yeah, I like I said, is when I watch it, I just hope they set it up that it's watchable.
Right. No, I agreed.
If it's just people going back and forth, we don't really know who's where. That's what I'd like to see.
Well, you also have a team that's off, so maybe they can advance like a chess piece or something like that.
You could do that. My dream one day is, this is pie in the sky dream, that money is no object and technology is good enough, is that every lane has a display underneath their team, a digital display of reps.
I agree.
Like,
yeah.
The broadcast team gets that, at least at the games. I don't know if they'll have that at semifinals, but they'll have basically a rep thing going. There's a system in place that you can do live scoring.
Yeah.
That's great for broadcast and those that are watching online, but not so much those that are watching in person.
Yeah, agreed.
So to have something like a live scoring digital board, you can see what lane, their team name banner right below that is the reps that they're on. So you know exactly where people are.
Yeah.
That's pie in the sky futuristic stuff. I actually don't think it's futuristic. I think it's totally possible. Someone other than me just needs to do all the work. I just like saying things. All right, test number 3. We have a relay style format. So we did 4 people working in different machines and implements, and then working together on the worm. Then we had mixed gendered pairs working together while one rests. So a little bit interstyle with mixed pairs. This is a straight relay format. It's going to go female, male, female, male, female 1, and male 1 will do a 400-meter sprint, 10 dumbbell bench press, the weight being 60 pounds and 90 pounds for the 60 pounds for the women, 90 pounds for the men, 15 unbroken single leg squats on leg 1, 15 unbroken single leg squats on leg 2, 3 handstand pirouettes. Once female 1 is done, male 1 will follow, and then the second pair will go. They'll do basically the same thing, but the numbers will change on the bench press and the pistols. 400-meter sprint, 15 dumbbell bench, 10 pistols on one leg, 10 pistols on the other, 3 pirouette handstands or hand pirouettes, whatever. Pirouette, I'm curious what that is. Is it going to be in one spot? Are they advancing? Is it going to be like in this square, that square, this square? Pirouette is something I know you thought we may see when we were talking about what could be coming up in the individuals. That was more of like an unbroken handstand walk setup where they have to do a pirouette and go back.
Right.
So this being a 4-person relay, I'm assuming no one's starting behind them. It's just straight through, and the next person goes, this next person goes. Dumbbell bench, we saw that at Wadapalooza. We actually saw the ring bar combo at Wadapalooza as well.
Right.
60 pounds and 90 pounds is hefty.
Yeah, it is.
What was
Yeah.
the one at Wadapalooza?
I think it was 50 for the women, maybe 75 for the men.
Hmm.
It wasn't as heavy, but they had to do a lot more reps.
Yeah.
Like this is just you have 10. So I think that's a fair number to put on these guys.
Right.
Because again, like you figure you have a 60-minute time cap, so you're looking at a chunk of 4 minutes per athlete for their setup. You have, a minute and a half on the 400-meter sprint. Then you're going to get in
sprint. And
Huh?
Kate just talked about this.
What?
I like how it says sprint, like
Eh.
instead of run.
Right.
It just sounds funny. It's like, hey, it's 400 meters fast. You're like, why are you telling me like what?
Don't tell me how fast I gotta go. I'll
It
go
just-
as fast as I want.
Yeah, it seems funny. Like,
Well-
you should be supposed to run. Like, it doesn't say 500-meter row sprint.
Right. Well, and right, which is the same thing. I mean, in this,
I mean,
You
you're
got-
gonna have to.
you have to go fast,
Yeah.
but you don't win the event by winning the run.
Right.
I mean, this is classic as far as how we normally have the monostructural stuff set up at the lead of whatever sort of
Uh-huh.
deal that they're doing, where it's there not to really count, but more to kind of kick you in the system before you have to get to some work. So can you do dumbbell bench press and then your single leg squats and then be able to stabilize all that for 3 handstand pirouettes while you went as hard as you possibly could for the 400? And the other thing is 400 is not that far.
Right.
So you're gonna be going fast,
You have to.
I mean, you only have 4 minutes.
And there's not a lot. Here's the thing with this one. I like the format. I like the relay, highlight individuals, part of the team competition, right? We did teamwork, pair work, individual work. With the numbers that they have, this is a very Boz-like execution-based max intensity test.
Yeah.
You have to thread that needle on the 400 perfectly. You run 5 or 10 seconds too slow because you're worried to pace out. Where are you going to make this up on someone else who is just as proficient as you on the other things?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Totally.
You dip into 3 seconds too fast. Then it's over.
Right. I know. You're done.
Yeah.
Done.
My wife just texted us, don't worry, I have the UP police officer coming. My wife, all the cops on the bat. All the cops on the bat.
I thought the fire department goes for stuff like that.
You tell me, getting cats out of trees and bats out of.
We would do that. Yeah. I mean, that's what we would do. That kind of
I'm
stuff.
upset. I want to see this bat. You know what I always wanted to do? I'm sorry. I'm totally breaking off here. I wanted to put a little bat house like on the side of my garage for bug control. We got a lot of mosquitoes.
Do you have a lot of bats?
Dude, yeah, Texas? Yeah, we got bats.
Well, I mean, I know you have bats, but I didn't know like the way you're talking. You've like, I
got a bat in my
I'm gonna
house.
put a bat. I'm gonna have a bat house outside. Oh, hey, honey, we have a bat in the house.
We have a bat in the house. Surely we can get bats outside the house.
I mean, I agree. It's weird. You know what? I want to know how hard the pirouettes are going to be for people.
And what's the format?
I
Is it
would
in one
think
stance?
it's like in the games. You kick up in your square
Uh-huh.
and you just have to go 3 times around.
So at the games, I believe it was. What was it?
Because you had to pirouette at the start.
At the
So
start.
you did the pirouette and then you walked.
I just don't remember if it was hands outside the box, walk into the box, pirouette, walk out of the box.
I thought it was kick into the
Into the box
and
and
then
do
you
a
walked
pirouette?
out of the box.
Yeah.
Or here's the other thing: do they need to be unbroken? And if you
Well,
fall,
and
you have
that's
to
the other thing.
start
What does
again.
unbroken mean?
Well, it doesn't say
Does it
unbroken.
mean?
It means like
Well,
you have
okay,
to kick up and go all the way around
I'll-
3 times. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the pirouettes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I
agree with
think
you.
it should be. I think it should be unbroken.
I
And
do.
then here's the other thing.
Walk, pirouette, walk, pirouette, walk, pirouette. Some type of distance.
No, kid, you're just saying that because you're young. Come on now. I think
3 in a row. Boom, boom, boom.
here's the thing. It's relay. You have a 16-minute cap. So is it possible that you may have an athlete, because someone messes up on their pirouettes, depending on how they do it, that now you can't get in there? You can't have that last athlete?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, this is when we talked about execution.
Yeah.
This is a execution test at
All
max.
right. Where's my weakest link? Because you're going last.
Exactly.
Everyone else, get the hell out of the way.
Now, going back to the pistols, I'll keep calling them pistols.
That's what they are.
That's what they are. Unbroken on a single leg. Does that mean unbroken and start over, or all done on a single leg?
I think that means once you start, that other foot cannot come down, and if it does, you did not do them unbroken. You have to start again.
I mean, that's what they did at the games.
Right.
At the
game, we're at semis.
10,
right.
We're unbroken without the other foot coming down. You could get a no rep. You just couldn't break the set.
Right. So people were hopping all over the place. That's fine. I think that because it was in the games, they can now do them here. Yeah. And unbroken, meaning that foot cannot come down.
Kane's question, does anybody fail the dumbbell bench? I think your only chance of seeing that is going to be on the 15. Like 90 pounds and 60 pounds, you're like, oh, that's just 180 and 120. It's just a different beast entirely.
But that one also doesn't say unbroken. So you can put them down if you need to.
True.
Not that you have a lot of time.
Well, that's what I said. Is like,
yeah,
that's the same thing as running 3 seconds too fast in a 400 meter.
Yeah.
You do 1 rep too much. I don't see. Well, hopefully everybody has practiced, right? That's why you get them early. Everybody should know where everybody should go, how to do a pirouette, what rep scheme is best. The pistols or whatever, unless you just have someone who's bad at them. The dumbbell bench is going to be a separator. The pirouettes, it'll all come down to your ability to do that or not.
The 15 dumbbell bench press is just going to do. You're going to get such a pec pump out of that if you are choosing to try to go as unbroken as possible on that, because you're racing, which is going to make your pirouettes shitty.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one to watch.
Do you think the reps are different enough to really matter, or should they have been greater?
I think on the I don't think on the pistols. I don't think of the pistols. I don't think the pistols are that's really a difference. I think adding 5 reps on the dumbbell bench press, I do. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I do too. Curious.
Yeah.
Getting those little details.
Speculations.
Speculations. That being said, format, dig it. I'll be curious to see how the pirouettes go, what the standard is. If somebody makes a mistake or not. And I mean like a pacing mistake.
Totally.
But, all right, test 3. What do you think about the halfway through mark, what we've seen so far? Just say from a balance perspective.
I think actually it's fairly balanced. I like the movements. I mean, we haven't gone, overly heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't count that bench press as heavy. But what I like is that they're fun events coming into it. And they're unique. And this reminds me of a classic so far, of a classic kind of regional type of setup stuff. Like you get some weird implements in there, some different fun. They aren't out of the ordinary, but you get some different ones in there. You have that sandbag hold. That's going to be really fun to watch. And it's a good weight, but it's a different kind of good weight. Then we get to have some high volume with the thruster and the muscle ups. I think that'll be fun. And then same thing here. Like we get to see because it's going to be so fast. Like there's going to be a lot of pressure on everyone, and it's a sprint. So each athlete now is working, sub 4 minutes, hopefully, to get everyone through the 16-minute time cap. So I think we're right in there.
Jonathan Lane asks, I went to college with a Jonathan Lane. Where do you guys think athletes will separate in this workout test?
I think pirouettes.
I think pirouettes is the gatekeeper
Yeah, 100%.
at the highest level.
That's why it's great that it's at the end, because then it amplifies
Dude,
that.
can you imagine?
All of the other stuff, be tired, blow out your chest, your pistols. Now you got to kick up, and now you got to do this little like on your hand dance.
I hope
thing.
we get some races with like 3 or 4 teams at the end and just pull.
And I hope they make that unbroken, dude. I hope they make the 3 unbroken, because now the pressure is on. All these guys, dude. I can fake 1 pirouette. I can't fake 3.
No?
I definitely can't do that when I'm tired.
No.
So I think they should do it that way and make the pressure.
Yeah.
Put the pressure on everyone.
All right, test number 4, as it reads, may seem a little confusing. So
As they all have.
we have mixed sex pairs again. One pair is starting on one end of the competition floor. The other is starting on the other competition floor. Pair 1 is going 10-7 row cals, 10 synchro alternating dumbbell snatches at 90 and 60, and then 15 24-inch box jumps alternating. So you go, I go, I'm assuming that's what that means. While the other pair is doing 10-7 ski cals, 20 alternating dumbbell snatches at 70 and 50. So double the reps, less weight. And then 10 30-inch box jumps alternating. So you're starting on either side of the competition floor. We'll put this away so you guys can like see this visually. 10 and 7, 10 or 20 box jumps, and then they switch when they're all done. That's how it's going to go. That's one round. And then they're on the other one. So they go 10 and 7, 20 and 10, 10 and 15, switch to the other side. That's round 2. So switch done, switch done, switch done. So one pair is going to do more of the ski triplet, and the other pair is going to do less of the row triplet, and vice versa. That's how it's going to work. This is one
shit ton of dumbbell snatches.
It's a shit ton of dumbbell snatches. Yeah. How many are you going to be doing? In total, 10. If I'm 10 on that starting side, it's 30 plus 40, so 70. If I'm on the other side, that's 60 plus 20, it's 80. So 70 or 80 total. This is one where I need to see this unfold on the competition floor. Like,
yeah. It's almost calling 2 races at the same time.
Yeah.
To make it really hard. I like the idea. I like the idea of it. But this is it'll be from that initial.
If I program this for team training, okay.
Yeah.
Something from a visual.
Show the race though.
Show the race to call
to make it
the
hard.
race.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Curious.
I don't know.
Box jumps alternating, I'm assuming that's, and here's the wild part is that.
I think it's you go, I go.
Yeah.
So one, then you go, that's one.
Pairs. So ladies getting a short end.
Yeah.
On the box. For both.
I didn't even see on both of them. Yeah,
you
you're
have
right.
to jump on a 24-inch box, which is higher than what you normally jump on. And then you have to jump on a 30-inch box, which is higher, but you get less cals. 10-7, I think, is generous. I also don't think that matters.
No.
But
like that's
this is also a sprint too. This is a sprint. It's only 10 and 7. Okay, knock him out. It's only 10 dumbbell snatches if you're working on the row side. And then on the box jumps, it's alternating. So you're getting a little bit of a break. A little bit of a break. Bailey, we don't agree with same box heights for jumping. I know you're
step overs, yes.
Weighted step overs, yes. Regular box jumps, no.
Right.
No. We're with you on that one. This is a big sprint both ways. Timing, I'm curious how this works out. Like, is one pair always going to be waiting on the other one depending on the implements that they have, right? Like, how fast is the 10-7, 10-15?
It's going to be people
10,
just
7, 20 and 10, but it's just going to be a lot of
just people everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the judges,
Right.
Dude, I think this will be kind of a shit show to see.
Caden, tight time cap. I don't think it's a tight time cap. I don't think this is a very long test.
Yeah.
Like 10 cows on a row or a ski. Okay, 30 seconds. Not going fast. Right?
Yeah.
30 seconds being generous, right into 10 alternating dumbbell snatches. Another 30 seconds? 15 box jump overs alternating. I mean, is this a 90 seconds per? Just being somewhat conservative? The other thing, 10, the 20.
I mean, shit, you say 2 minutes. If you say 2 minutes per,
even if it's 2 minutes, yeah.
that's 10 minutes.
10-minute test.
I wonder what they think the hang up is. Unless it's the women on the box jump, maybe. That's a high box jump. That'd be like making the guys do like 36.
Well, like you said, the dumbbell snatches are going to add up.
Yeah.
The synchro there, that's going to slow you down to make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Bailey, that's a good point.
True.
Because it actually doesn't say over. I think it'll just be box jump, which is worse for you.
Right. That's right.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yeah, it could be.
That's kind of old school. I mean, if we're going back to some old stuff.
I have nothing wrong with regular box jumps.
Totally.
They're not easy.
Having to do that extra extension of the hip up at the top.
Yeah. It will slow you down. So that'll slow you down. Interesting. This is going to be another max intensity test.
Shit, even 230 puts it at 1230.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the dumbbell.
I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, 30. Let's see. One group would be doing 50 box jumps. The other group would be doing 45, 65. No, that's not right. Am I being dumb? I am being dumb. 60 and 65. So close. But yeah, I think that second pair is going to take longer each time. It just has to.
I think so, yeah.
Like, even though it's 70 and 50, it's still 20.
20 reps.
It's double the reps.
Yeah.
I don't care about the weight. And 5 rep difference between a 24-inch box alternating and a 10-inch or a 30-inch box alternating when you have a female on your team each time for that.
She's not like, there's not going to be a lot of rebounds on that. I mean, you will in the beginning.
Well, you can't. You're alternating.
You're right.
So interesting. Again, this is one of those where if you didn't understand team competition, you're just a casual fan, this is a mess of reading and trying to understand what's happening. I am glad I'm not calling teams at semifinals. Good luck, Adrian. Good luck, brother. This is one of those where I'm going to wait and see.
Yep.
Maybe when it comes down to it and we're watching, I was like, oh, this just flows beautifully.
Yeah, I like all the pieces, but I have no idea what it'll look like.
Yeah. Again, if it's like, hey guys, we're just going to do this as a team workout. I'm saying workout on purpose. Yeah, go. Mixed pair work, different movements. When you think about it, you've got a WMG, right? You've got monostructural on the row and the ski. You've got a weightlifting with the dumbbell, and then you have a gymnastics with the box jump. You're touching all your bases as far as modalities. You put them in a same sex or a mixed sex pairing. So we'll see. Curious though.
Yeah.
Curious. All right, we got 2 more tests to get through. So that gets us through the second day of competition, and that brings us to the first event of the third day. We started the weekend off with a long, basically machine test with some worm work, and now we're starting the last day of competition with just who can lift the most weight the most amount of times. 1 minute max reps. And I'm assuming it's going to be like men go and then the women go. Is 1 minute max rep cleans at weight 1, 2 minute rest, 1 minute cleans, 2 minute rest, 1 minute cleans. So just 3 minutes total work 1 minute at a time. The women's weights 190, or I'll go men's first for drama's sake. Men's first 275, saw that in quarterfinals. 295, 315. Okay, working with you and your fellow male athlete. Women's weights 195, 215, and 235 on the cleans.
Dang.
Now, we have been saying for years that 315 and 225 should be the offsetting weights for the women. And typically, they've been 205.
Yeah.
Early enough as the individual quarterfinals were doing deadlifts at 315 and 205. Now we fast forward to semifinals, and on the table, they have 315 and 235. So not only did we go past the number we've always been saying and giving them crap for not doing it, we've bumped it up 10 more pounds. In fact, everything is bumped up to what the, not I want to say traditional as if like the way it should be, but the more often used weight jumps and discrepancies that we have. Curious.
Yeah, I wonder, I don't know why.
I talked to Boz. Actually, I asked Boz this question about these weights, and he just said it's just through looking at data and where the sport has been going and the athletes in the team competition and looking at max reps and their 1 rep max cleans and jerks. It's like, that's the number they landed on. Like, okay, you looked at it.
I mean, if they looked at it,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm like, hey, this would be cool, right? Like, hey, let's just try this. It's like they said they looked at it. It was a conscious decision based off the data that they had. Need to review. Again, this is a, I'll wait and see. I'll wait and see. I don't see this as an offset, though, of the 2 male-female pair tests that we've had. Like, I know the men are working together, but really it's the team. Right? The team are all working together here. This is just total reps for the team.
Yeah, totally.
Right? And so it's like, oh, well, we've had 2 male-female pair tests and 2 mixed gender tests. Like, no, this is not offset. Will Brandsetter, I feel like every male individual at the games can clean 315, no problem. I agree, and that stings. And 20% of the women's field can't clean 235, which is yes.
So what makes this setup really interesting is now if you're an athlete that struggles with the heavier weight, you have to double the fuck down on the first weight.
Yes. And so therein lies the strategy.
Right.
But you only have a minute. And these can be power cleans, squat cleans. I'm assuming this is what they traditionally do, is just clean is a clean is a clean. 1 minute cleans at weight 1, 2 minute rest, 1 minute cleans at weight 2, 2 minute rest, 1 minute cleans at weight 3, done.
Well, and if you are one of those athletes that like, okay, I'm not able to clean, you're one of the women that can't clean 235. Okay, then what you need to make sure you do is on the other weights, you have to make up for whatever you would be missing on that 235.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you have to do everything you can to touch and go as much as possible on the 195 to eke out an extra, ideally 1 rep, because if you can't do 235, then that's where that 1 would be transferred over to there, so you can kind of have that. But you got to make up that deficit, whatever that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. I mean, some athletes, okay, maybe they only get 1, but if they tried to save themselves to get the 1, then they ruined it where they had the chance. I would rather have an athlete
not worth the 1.
Get all, like, empty the tank on the lighter one and then not get any on the 235.
And
instead
truthfully,
of trying to hold back to get 1 at the 235.
100%. And truthfully, like I say it's not that bad, but it's only a minute with a partner.
Yeah.
Just, you should be going 1 for 1, like hammering a nail on the railroad track.
Yep.
Just bing, bong, back and forth. How many are you going to get in a minute? And then get a 2-minute break.
Yeah.
It's totally worth just putting it down in minute 1, getting through minute 2, knowing full well there's going to be people knowing full well is like, listen, I am not hitting anything at that weight. Sorry. So I'm going to just like send it in minute 1 to offset what I'm not going to do in minute 3.
Yeah.
This question came up. Is it for weight or for reps? It's for reps, but curious if you made it for weight. So reps times the weight you were lifting.
Oh,
So for total weight lifted by the team.
God, that's a lot
Vito
of
put
math,
that
dude.
I mean, it's not that hard.
Well,
You want to know who
well,
won?
really? Oh, wait, hold on. This is coming from the people like a 100-point test and a 50-point test.
Well, I was saying for me, Bill. I wasn't saying
Hmm.
it would be curious, right? It's like, okay, your score is going to be your total number of reps times the weight you were using added together for all 3 minutes. That would be pretty sweet.
I like that.
By the team.
I like that because then you get rewarded for lifting where you need to lift.
Right. It's like, hey, is that 1 rep at 315 going to be the deal breaker?
So now for that you need to get almost 1 1/4 reps.
There is some Bill.
Right on, dude. Way to step up there.
You have a spreadsheet ready.
So that's basically to get that 1 rep at that top weight, you have to do 1 1/4 reps of the 195 extra.
Yeah. Curious.
That's cool. That'd be fun.
I would say this: if they were to do that, I would put bigger spreads between the weights to have it more of an impact. Like 275.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be like
you're saying.
It would be like 225, 275, 315.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, you got 5 more than us in round 1, but we put Mongo back there and he's getting 3 reps at 315 and we just passed you.
Yeah.
Or something like that. That'd be cool. Yeah. All right. So that's the 5th test. 1 more to go on the team semifinals. We'll revisit the individual semifinals once they are all released. They're trickling out here oh God, I just looked at this test. Cool. Really hold on to your butts. All right, test number 6, 4-time 15 worm burpees, 15 worm squats. Shout out to the 2013 CrossFit Games and 2015 CrossFit Games. They did this. It's the 33 rounds of 30 worm burpees and 30 worm squats. Yeah. After you're done, the women will go complete 1 seated legless rope climb each, while the men are doing 10 strict chest to wall handstand push-ups each. Then you switch. So the men will do 1, the women will do 10, and then you come back to the worm. 15 worm burpees, 15 worm squats, back to the rig. Women will complete 2 legless rope climbs each. Men will complete 15 strict handstand push-ups each. Then they will both switch. So the men will do the legless, the women will do the handstand push-ups, and they'll come back to the worm. Women will do 15 and 15 again between burpees and squats. Women will complete 3 rope climbs each, regular rope climbs. Men will complete 20 handstand push-ups with kipping allowed. And then they'll switch 3 and 20, 3 and 20, and back to the worm for 15 worm burpees and 15 worm squats. So as it reads is you'll start with worm burpees and worm squats. Then you go to a gymnastics pairing where it's less reps, but more difficult. Seated legless rope climbs, chest to wall handstand push-ups, burpees and squats, more reps, less difficulty, burpees and squats, more reps, less difficulty, burpees and squats to finish. That's how it is. Other than reading all of this, yes, wall facing. I know, I was just reading. And seeing it on paper, I think it's going to be relatively easy to follow as watching. I like this. It's like, hey, we're not working together anymore. You have to do your stuff. I have to do my stuff. Therefore, if you don't have any seated legless rope climbs, I can't just do 2 of them for the both of us.
Right.
I like how they switch. So everyone's waiting on somebody. The faster, more efficient teams will obviously pull ahead. You have these high skill gymnastics and then the worm work with the squats and the burpees with some synchronization that comes with that. The volume, I mean, 10, 20, or 10, 15, 20. So 45 total handstand push-ups variations, 6 rope climbs, seated, legless, and regular. Could be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
Start and finish with the worm for the weekend.
Yeah, and it'll be fun watching the team come through the finish line. I mean, we always talk about like
True.
there are ways to have that final, and we've talked about either it being a, just barn burning, everything's like high intensity and everyone's flying through it, or you have those slow marches, some sort of a lunge, some sort of whatever. So with these, you can see the entire team, doing their burpees, getting their squats, trying to finish as they move. And they'll probably have it to where they move the worm down every single time, how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
The intensity and the anxiousness of those seated legless rope climbs, I think, are going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the question: is what is one of the details, right? What is that standard going to be?
Yeah.
Starting from a seated position and keeping that L-sit position all the way up, and then you can come down, or is it L-sit position the whole time? Is it just L? And then
I think it will be seated, and no part of your leg can be on the ground as you start to pull your hands up. So when you pull up, your legs have to be off, but I don't think they're going to make them have to hold the L-sit.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That's going to be tough to.
It's like at what angle? My legs are straight, but I'm not totally straight. So am I? Is that
angle
okay?
Something we'll talk about on the individual test.
Right. Right. So I just think that what they'll do is they wanted a longer rope climb, wanted to where you couldn't jump.
Yes.
And then it's just kind of a kick. It's kind of a kick. And that right there would be interesting too. So that adds to it.
Up and climb down.
Climb up, touch, have to lower yourself down, so you can't use your legs at all.
Okay.
And they probably have the safety notch, to where you have to get your hands below this mark before you can drop.
Makes sense.
I could see that. I mean, you don't want to blow anyone's knee out on the rope or anything like that. I'd hate for that to happen.
So I think Bailey had a question on the switch stuff. I would assume that the switch, right, says women do this, men do this, each switch. I have to assume that means they're all doing that before they advance out of the round. Right? So, for example, scroll to the top here.
What's the time for one? 16 minutes.
How long? 16-minute cap. So worm burpees, worm squats, then they move to the rig. Women do 1 seated legless rope climb each. Men complete 10 strict chest to wall push-ups each. Switch.
I think that's right. Yeah.
I think
because otherwise, what would you switch?
Right.
I don't. Yeah. So it has to be that they switch. So now women do the wall facing handstand push-up.
Right.
And the men do the legless rope climb.
Curious that you make the women start on the rope each time. As opposed to just choose. That's more for me. Like, I like giving teams enough rope, not like, enough leeway to.
As long as everyone gets that done.
Yeah. Like the men either go first on the rope or the handstand push-ups, or the women do. You can pick.
Yeah.
Maybe we would have want you to take a break. So, curious. I'm excited to see this take place. It could all be hindered on one person. whole time.
It will be hindered on one person. Like, I mean, we talked about that earlier. Like, you kind of work around, or where your weak link is, and that's kind of the classic setup where we try to hide them. There's no hiding here.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have rope climbs, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Your team is fucked in the finals.
Will
So-
Branson are already getting ahead of us. But yes, I will bring that up. Can't wait to see people's lockouts in the Breen complex. Yes. Especially under fatigue. All right. So those are the tests.
I think they're interesting. I think they're going to be some fun ones to watch.
Well, that's the thing is like programming for teams is tough.
Yeah.
I love programming for teams. So talking about team programming is something I relish. It is challenging. I think like it's almost like coaching and saying too much when you coach someone, right? Giving them like too much information, too many cues. That can be a trap programmers can fall in. Where it's like, oh, it's a team competition. We're going to do all of these things as a team setting. It's like, don't have to do that.
Yeah.
That's an easy trap to fall into. There are a few things I'm marking down that I'm very curious to see take place. The only thing I'm curious about of a question I'll hopefully get to ask at some point in time is we have two tests that are totally based off male-female pairs working together. We have no same-sex pairs working together. The barbell that does not count. That's the whole team working together. They're not sharing work. They're just going one for one. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious why we didn't have that, because I think that's an important part.
Yeah. You have 6. You should be able to hit all of those. You should be able to hit all of those different mixes.
I think you could have done, and where I see it is test 2, and this is why I come back to test 2, is like wait and see female male pairs. When I look at test 4, which was the mixed pairs going back and forth, men have more cows than women. They have less than women. They're all hopping up into the same box.
Yeah.
That is way more structured. I think the same-sex pairs could have fared to be in the second test. But if we're going to put it in there, like if you took those two, which one do you think would be a better test to put same-sex pairs together? Test 2 or test 4?
I think it would have made sense to have the same-sex pairs jumping over the right boxes.
Okay.
So have all the men do the same type of work, have all the women do the same type of work, because that, like, the women in that one just get nailed.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take it back. Same cows road.
Yeah.
We don't need to get too cute there. Same box height, even though it's alternating. Whatever. Same dumbbell. Yeah.
I mean, put them in. Put them.
Yeah.
That's a usual thing.
No. Okay. Yeah. Because I am very curious about the strategy playing 2 because it's mixed.
Yeah,
There are
totally.
2 variables of gymnastics and weightlifting.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch, though.
It'll be fun to watch.
It'll be fun to watch and see. Man, I can't wait to see that one shit show. Both sides of the field going at the same time. Good luck, you producers and directors, trying to follow that one.
Yeah, and fans. But hey, maybe it's easy. Maybe they've got something in place that
Split
Yeah,
screens all day long.
hey, Rothy's I would like an 8 box, please.
Rothy, can we get every lane on the screen, please?
Mm-hmm.
And split every lane. Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, that is it for the team test. We just want to take a little preview of what's to come. Obviously, we have we're about a week out.
Yeah.
1 week out of semifinals.
They better get that information out, dude. They have to.
I mean, there, like we said, there's some very important information.
What are we doing with the bag?
That is out there.
Tell me about the bag.
Tell me about the bag.
Just tell me about the bag, CrossFit. Hey, CrossFit, tell me about the bag.
Yeah. Before we go, shout out to just give another shout out to Brian Friend, who has his Be Friendly Fitness website out there. If you guys want to follow along, a lot of, let me pull this up for him. News, up-to-date things, articles, top 100, worldwide rankings. Go to BeFriendlyFitness.com. If you guys are following us on YouTube, we'll just drop it in the chat here. Check it out. Give them a look. Give them a like. You can buy them a cup of coffee. There's like a tip jar.
I think that's so cool. I think that's so cool. I like that.
So cool. I know he's on Patreon as well. But shout out to Brian and all the moves he's making. This guy's put in the work for a long time, and we've got to see that firsthand. So proud of him.
Yeah.
Proud of him. And then a new show just unveiled for Savan. So this will be a little bit of a go watch it, but go fuck yourself. Savan created this breaking new idea of a new show. A.R. Howell and Taylor Self will go a deep dive into CrossFit programming from analyzing post-games events.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Scribble. I wonder where they got that genius idea from. But there is plenty of room for everyone, and the more people get educated on programming, the better the fans can be, the better the programming can get. So come on in, the water's fine. So I think their first show airs, let's see, tonight. It says tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern with Brian Friend. They'll be diving into their first takes on the semifinal programming. And yes, this new show, all about CrossFit programming and past games events and analyzing. So good, good fresh idea. Good luck, guys. I will be watching because I love listening to those guys talk. So glad they got something of their own. So celebrate the people we know in the space. Hopefully they will all bring more attention and more education to the fan base and to those that are programming. You'll always be the OG. Yes.
Boom. Thank you very much.
Yes. Another CrossFit podcast. My cuppeth runneth over. That's right. That's right. Well, thank you guys for joining the show. We'll see you guys later as they unveil the rest of the test. Hopefully some more details later. Bill and I will circle back to next Tuesday. We'll probably discuss all the individual semifinals. They should all be released by then. And then it will be semifinals time come Thursday, which you may be doing some podcast stuff on the Savan podcast, possibly?
Possibly. We may be doing something on the side.
Maybe a little something on the side?
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
But I'll be in Orlando for the first weekend. So if you guys are there, love to see you. Love to see an OG shirt, a MILF shirt, and soon to be the dad's version coming up after that. Although I will say, let me put this out there before we bounce, is if you are going to be in Orlando, I believe you will have a OG Culture tent out there. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think
mixed up with I believe Paper Street Coffee and the Web podcast. And we've got some new gear that will be dropping there if you guys are at the East. And this is our new thing.
Just show up.
Just show up. Just show up. New merch dropping at the semifinals. I believe there have been some hints on the OG storylines that these things are coming up. Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that little bad boy. So we have these new shirts available on site at the East. Make sure you guys track us down there. I'll try to make my way to the booth as often as I can. Wex Appeal, Space Wolves. Space Wolves will be there, along with Paper Street Coffee. So hope to see you guys in Orlando. If not, please watch from home. Support your athletes. Support the sport. If you can't be there in person, be there online. And we will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a great weekend.
Bye, guys.
Happy Mother's Day!